Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome. So today we're taking a server tour of our Vault server. Now, I will admit, this server is in its 4th week, and I have yet to cover it in terms of doing some server tours. Now, it's been quite an interesting season. It's been a good mix of a lot of players sticking to PvE, because we had PvE as an option on this server, and not a lot of PvP action. And because of that, it's been a little bit harder to cover, but still, we've got some amazing bases to have a look at. So here in front of us, we have NBI. Now, that might sound a little bit familiar, because NBI is a combination of HGI and MBS. So let's have a look at their facility. Now, this Vault game mode is all about protecting players' beacons. So let's have a look at their base. So they've got a giant wall stopping this area, some cooler rovers down here at various different levels of construction. They've gone with a lot of rovers designs, very cool indeed. We've got another rover here. This is a piece of scrap, I believe, from one of the events. Coming a bit further down here, we've got another gate, some booby traps, and another mining rover, and a little mining hangar down here. This base is really quite elaborate. So firstly, coming up, if we switch our lights on, you can see we've got a hangar docking for some of the smaller fighters, nothing in there at the moment, and a tube to launch them through. Coming over into this area, we've actually got one of the players on lines having a bit of a move around. You can see them burning fire pits, and we're actually getting into the base itself. So in this area, NBI have got all their fighters stacked up. Very exciting indeed. And then we've got the labyrinth of tunnels that leads slowly down to their vault at the bottom. They've obviously got a to-do list down here as well. Very nice indeed. Let's keep going. So you can see they've got a maze of tunnels that leads to fighters, med bays, everything one could need down here, including Queen Aaron's bar by the look of it. What the hell's going on here? It looks like there's been some sort of shootout down in this section. Oh, these are the lovely wooden cubicles. What an interesting room, I have to say, players. You're really stepping it up. So past Queen Aaron's bar, you can see it does continue on. They have put various different booby traps and things to stop players from getting through. And then they've got themselves another shaft that drops down. And as it continues to drop down, and it's just a maze of tunnels, really, to slow players down who are trying to access the vault. And they've also got a few fighters down here and a few dead ends. So very excited. So as we come down to this lower area, if you manage to navigate the whole of that labyrinth, you have got some more of their little defense drones and turrets placed in this area. And it looks like they've got a little blast door that seals up. If we go behind all these layers of armor, God, that's a lot of layers of armor, you can actually begin to access some of these hidden areas. So you've got the small hangar over on this side with an extra fighter just to fight in the corridors. It'd be quite tight in here to battle, wouldn't it? And then over here we have the vault. So currently in NBI's vault they have a green beacon and they have their own. So they have yet to lose their beacon even though they are PvP active. So a really cool base. I just really like the size of that as well. They've fitted into the cube sort of restrictions very well indeed. Lots of cool areas. What's this area down here? Is this another? Oh, that's the hangar bay that we had a look at before. So let's move on. So we're actually going to have a look at AGH. So AGH, Imperial Guard Commissioner, has been hard at work building. You can see another underground labyrinth of tunnels. Well, there's not all underground. So up here in this area, what I will say as well is some players in the 4th week have either given up, stopped playing, or they're waiting for the end event. So some of them might look a little bit scarce in some areas as well. There's still a lot of players who are chuckling on and hoping to win at the end. So some fighters took down in this area. Very nice indeed. And then we've also got underground access via this bunker that takes you down the various shafts past production. You can see how it started to be drilled out down here. Various different labyrinths event. These guys have yet to build a vault, so it looks like they are sticking with the PvE premise. So let's move on. So this is we're looking for, I think it's L&T, that is Mr. Loot Goblin. Now you might remember Mr. Loot Goblin from his giant battleship, and you can see that this base has definitely been inspired by his giant battleship here. He's got himself some sort of catapult over there, wheel catapult. Got him helicopters, various different production areas for some of his ships, and he's connected it up to these rocks up here. It'd be interesting to see if someone cut him off. Would his base fall? Probably not, because it's a static grid. And over on this side we've got a little hangar that's got a few naughty missile ships in there, very cool. And a little pit down here for some of these weird sort of bouncing bomb type devices. Tucked in here below we've got access to various areas, and you can see that Loot Goblin has yet to build a vault from what I can tell. No, there's nothing inside here, there's just production and cargo. And coming all the way down here, just under his bubble, is his little rover, his little mining rover. So very nice work from Loot Goblin there. I like this base. It's something a little bit different and weird. So we're over now at USS Fizz's base. So let's have a quick look at what's going on here. Now, there's not much you might think. You might think, oh Aaron, you don't usually cover these small bases like this. But what I wanted to show was the idea, the concept that they had started out with this vault high in the mountains, because we've either seen people dig deep underground and store the vault, or people try to put their vaults up in the air like this, and it's just a really cool concept. It has its projector left on, but really nice indeed to see someone try something a little bit different like that, even though they've not quite finished it. Maybe they've not had enough time. So continuing on, let's go to AAA. So over at AAA, the wannabe base, this base looks like it's been raided, and I wanted to show you this because it reminds me of a little bit like a car park. Very industrial, cool structures being built here. There's a little bit of production left, a little bit of supplies, but for the most part it looks like it's abandoned. Could be nicely opened up for perhaps an event in the future for players to come and raid it. So we'll have to do that with some of the offline players, or some of the players that have stopped playing in the final week for whatever reason. So continuing down our list, we've got CTK. Now, Wizard and Apathy have been hard at work, some of our admins and moderators at this base, and they've been building this piece by piece. So they've got this giant door or window here at the front with a cool little door, and of course they're carrying lots of memes and other exciting things. Production at the back, a big console area. I think Apathy was hoping people to come and trade in this section. And then you've got various underground passages that lead to his little car hangar that has a side opening door. So you can see the rover gate. I'll press it if I break it. I'm so sorry, Apathy. Let's have a look. So you can see the gate opened sideways like that on a corner. A bit more complicated, a bit unnecessary, but it does work. So we'll seal that back up for him so nothing rolls out or gets stolen and then I'm responsible. So coming up the back here, we actually have this giant elevator shaft, and Apathy did attempt to show it me, but when he did, it rocketed to the ground and ploughed into the ground itself. So you can see there is a down and up buttons. Do we dare play with the elevator? Oh, we've got to play with the elevator while we're here. Okay. Oh yeah, we need to disconnect that, and then it goes down. Will it work this time? Apathy, your elevator doesn't work, mate. I'm just gonna say that. I don't know if it was if it was in construction or something. It doesn't work. I'm so sorry. I'll fix it after. I promise. I'll come back and fix it. So there's Apathy's very functional elevator. You didn't see that, and it leads up to this little platform with some cool little ships around it. Very nice indeed. Let's continue on. So from CTK, we're going to have a look at DBS. Now, from what I have heard, DBS have given up on this season. They've got themselves a little bit bored of it, and they've decided to wrap it up early. And that's fair enough. Sometimes the seasons that we do are not everyone's cup of tea, and with a lot more PvE heaviness at the start of this one, you can see what we have. But let's have a look at what DBS has created. As usual, they've done their mass production down here. There is more small rovers here. You could feed an army. I'm sure they've got to pop on for the end event and use some of this stuff. They can't have just built it all and not used it. So we've got some of their little mechs down here. Their heavy armoured bunker, reinforced with wheels for good measure. And then they've got this cool perimeter wall that wraps around the whole base. This base would be a difficult one, definitely, to get in. So you can see it wraps up around that area. And down here, we've got some cool rover designs. We've got a larger rover over here. And then we've got this mech sort of... Is it a bull combination? Very cool, whatever it is. I like seeing a lot of these mechy type creatures, and then it leads down into what I believe they were starting work on a hangar. And that leads deeper and deeper and deeper into their base. You can see coming all the way down. We've got some sort of massive mech that's been constructed in the undertunnels down here. Maybe this is like a boss fight area. The players come in here and this giant mech boss fights them. I don't know. That'd be a cool concept. And tucked over here is their vault. Now you might be thinking, yeah, I'm giving their vault away or whatnot. But they haven't put their beacon in here, so they're still PvE. And as I look through all these factions today, yes, I'm giving away a little bit of the workings of the base, but it's the final week. It's not going to be a massive deal. Plus, players can't mine their way through it. They actually have to attack through the base's defenses by the rules itself. So it's still going to be a challenge whatever happens. So, let's continue on. Let's go to FUC. FUC. Let's have a look what you guys are doing. So, this is Frosties by the look of it. Is it Frosty? I don't know if it's Frosty alone. So this base was quite an interesting one because what they've done is put their vault up here. It could rotate. Oh, hang on. No, maybe the vault hasn't been placed up here. It's been placed up in this area here with easy access through the side. And then you've got like a hangar underneath there. So the only things that could possibly get up here due to where he's built it, there's no rovers going to be getting access up here. This should have to be, you know, an airborne assault. It reminds me a little bit of like a Star Wars base where you'd have to drop some troops off to try and attack it and take it over. And then down in here we've got some production, as per usual, some extra ships of Frosties, and there's nothing else dug under the ground there. But still another cool concept for a base. Lots of little turret wall been built in this area as well. So let's go to FPS. So scrolling down past all the others that we have seen already. We don't want to go too... Oh, we've gone way too far, haven't we, there? Yeah, so here we go. We've got FPS. Let's have a look at their compound. Now, FPS's compound's only a small one. But what I quite like about this one is they've put themselves a little radar array up on top of this hill. That's quite cool. And then down here is their starter little base. We've got some cool little Star Wars type ships, recolored, of course. And then they've got their production. So they're only just starting out. But still, well, to be honest, I think FPS have probably stopped playing, haven't they, at this point, if they've not built the base out any further. The thing is, PvE and PvP, it's a hard one to balance. PvE, people tend to get bored, but where PvP, people tend to get frustrated that someone is trying to attack them. So it's difficult. Let me know how you would balance a PvE and a PvP server at the same time. Okay, let's continue on. So, we have got the lovely guys at GCI. GCI, where are you? There you are. So, looking through a needle in a haystack, we have found the GCI base. Now, this is another cool one. Multiple layers going on here. If we come through this direction as well, you can see they've got this giant rover with a little ramp on the front. So, this could deploy perhaps some fighters or other rovers. And then coming around the side, you've got some unconstructed areas, with, of course, a little connector that lowers down, some little battle bots over there. We've got another rover up here, and this is really cool. You can see the GIC logo up there, almost like a church-type design. They've got these, like, claws, nice bit of bronze-coloured blocks there used. They've got the production around the back end. Of course, this one is another half-completed structure, or maybe they've just run out of block limit, and as you can see, this would have led up into this area, and this cool defensive structure up here as well. Very nice. Got some fighters tucked in there at the moment. A cool little base. It would have been lovely to see it completed. Let's continue on. So from GCI we're going to RAB. Now RAB, another faction with a lot of rep on our server. So past all these guys, and we're going to RAB base location. So here we go. Let it all stream in the best it can. And there we go. So here we are at the RAB facility. So the RAB lower area, they've got themselves two rovers. A chunky boy down there with a nice little, it's got like a little face on the front there, like an Iron Man type face with different colouring. Got a bit of a damaged rover. They've got some cool turrets set up here. So you can see the turrets are stacked either side there. And then a little ring of defences with some small fighters for them to quickly access in case they're under attack. And then they've got the outer perimeter with Alpha, Bravo hangar areas. So let's go into Alpha. You can see this is just jam-packed with RAB fighters. These guys are ready for another mashup before the end, definitely. And as we start coming in, more fighters are stacked in some of these little cave areas, and we've got then the makings of their tunnel system. What they've done is kept the ceiling quite low. Production area only, no spawn kits beyond this point. More turrets. Is this perhaps an elevator? Let's have a look. Yeah, this is an elevator that they've managed to construct in here in this very dark and black room. Do I dare test this elevator? Wow, there's a lot of doors in the floors. So these are little pop-up points perhaps. Oh, like these are little pits they can open up and drop players into as they're assaulting through the area. That's a cool idea. And then over here they've got doors that I guess they can open up fire from. Yeah, so this whole area has been built in a way where they can, you know, optimize and shoot as many people who are coming for their vault. Very nice indeed. Very cool idea. And then of course this labyrinth continues on for quite some time until it gets to the vault. So yeah, these pits, these holes, and I guess if the only way you're going to know your way through this place is if you're an RAB member. So yeah, lots of little locker rooms right to the end, missiles in the walls, and then this is a dead end, or is it? Hidden behind here and accessed into this area, we have a labyrinth that takes you into nowhere again. Wow, so I really got baited out with this one. Where is their actual vault then? Unless they've built around the extra vault itself. Yeah, it's a hard one. It's a hard one to find. They've got some tunnels, obviously, that are just dead ends. Yeah. This is probably the best way to build it, really. Build an absolute maze. Oh, here we go. Here's their vault. So their vault's through here. Through a corner. Through... Oh, God, there's so much stuff in the way, isn't there? Yeah. These guys have got a seriously complicated base. It would be hard to raid that. Just getting through the doors alone is 20-30 minutes of just grinding time, perhaps. Anyway, let's continue on. So, from RAB, we have RSB. So let's go down. Let's go down and make sure we find it. RSB. So RSB, our good old Mr. Cajun. He builds himself some rather unique designs as well. And this base itself continues with that very, very unique style. So over here you can see he's got two turrets out front. He's got these statues that he's built. They remind me of like the Lego statues. We've got these axes here in front of him. He's got a little bit of a banner. He's got his drill/combat rover. And as you come in, it's got this very castle aesthetic to it. Very cool. And some pits down here that lead all the way down to perhaps where he has built his vault. Ooh, very nice. And then his vault is tucked down there, and he's activated his beacon. He's ready for some combat, some action. He's obviously got, is it Ernie? Ernie the drill ship. And this is a solo. Remember, Spice is a solo. He's done all this himself and built all this out. So it's going to be exciting to see how he can defend it. Maybe he'll need some mercenary help. So moving on, let's have a look at SWI. Now, Shay told me to not stop by because I know there's still a lot of work that she's trying to work on. She's working on something. She wanted me to finish something. So let's have a look what's going on here. Oh, okay, so this must be the snake. Let's have a look. Yeah, so Shay is still currently welding the head area up of the snake itself. So that snake wraps around that rock. That's really cool. Is it like a catwalk inside or anything? No, it's just blocks. So it's just like a very aesthetic, pleasing thing. With PvE mode, it allows players to build stuff like this and not worry about being attacked. Oh, it's got like a tentacle coming out of it. Oh no, this is the snake's head. Oh, lovely. This is beautiful. Oh, and it retracts in too. The detailing on that. Oh, it's all set up on timers. Lovely work, that, Shay. Something really different and fun. And this is obviously doubling as a welder pit as well. Let's drop ourselves into the ground, see what's going on underneath here. So there's nothing else going on underneath. There's a little rover there. We might pop off at the end and just see if Shay's finished that part off. So we're moving on to TNT now. TNT. You know what I'm going to say. What I was going to do then, but we're not going to go that way because I'm sure they'll claim my video or some kind of nonsense. Right. So over at the TNT outpost, they built on this rather flat plain area, They've got these cool little chunky rovers with 6 wheels. You've got this one over here as well. Rockets there at the front. Be interesting to see how these do in combat because they're pretty standard. There's not loads of turrets on them. And then they were building this thing. This is what really fascinated me. It's like a rotary turret device. So it spins and I guess the turrets fire at things. Interesting. I don't know how well it would work. Tucked in here, of course, production. And over on this side, they've got themselves a hangar. Nothing underground, but it might be a cool way of putting your underground vault in if they're still playing towards the end, that is. So, we are continuing down the list to TRK. Now, if we find TRK, that would be a good start. Lots of small grids here. So, make sure you name your grids, guys, because it makes life so much easier to find things. Okay, we're going in the right area now, past RAB. We've had a look at them, TNT and TRK. So we can have a look at the TRK battle bus. So owner is left click on some of these. Let's have a look at this TRK base. Very nice. So they've got a castle sort of design as well. They've put a wall up around the perimeter by the look of it. Still a lot of construction that they probably wanted to complete but didn't have time, including some of these rovers. And then you've got the facility itself, all reinforced with some nice blast door armor protection. Med bays, players offline in there. You've got the drill plunge miner. You've got this, that's really cool. I think it's like a Hind helicopter. I like how they put some camouflage on it. They painted the bottom blue as well. It's a nice replica of that. Maybe you add a Gatling gun to the front there, unless it's it's maxed out, the Gatling guns. Up into these production areas, we've got more ships stored away, ready for battling. And in here as well, we've got another Hind helicopter. Very cool. I really like the look of them. So that's all of their base. Let's see if they've got anything underground going on. No secret areas. No, just a bit of production tucked in there. So they haven't built themselves a vault, so they're staying PvE as well. Now, we have got 2 more factions to look at. We have WMC. Let's see if we can find them. WMC, where are you? And we've also got MCM, so whichever we find first. We found MCM. MCM, what have you been working on? So they've got this giant blue base. They've got a rover with a drill on the front. That's quite a cool looking rover, isn't it? They've gone with all blue. Got a fighter tucked in here. Production either side. Let's have a look at the shape of this thing. So it's like a giant garage with that rover on the side. Is anything hidden underground? No, nothing. So a nice compact MCM base. Oh, there's a disco. Oh, Aaron will go into here. Yeah, so there's definitely some sort of rave been going on here at the MCM base. Or maybe it's just a wake-up call for whoever's in the cryopods so they don't miss anything out. They've got a second deck here, a little bit empty. I'm sure they could put things in there in the future. Right, so final place we're going to is WMC. So as we scroll down past everything, past the people screaming to delete me. Okay, we should find it somewhere down here, but it's hard. It's not always that easy to find these. WMC, there we go. The WMC base. Now the reason I wanted to take you over here was because of this really cool tower. Another cool tower. Aaron seems to be attracted to like radio towers and signal towers, but they've got themselves a dish that moves and a bit of wind power up there. A nice pink chunky cargo rover. And not much else really. They haven't built anything underground, but a nice start from WMC. Now, finally, let's go back to Shay and see if she's managed to complete the snake. I know they'll be devastated that I've not managed to capture the final construction. But as you can see there, the tail has almost been finished. You can get the idea of it as it wraps around, and the head is out there doing all this fancy stuff with its tongue. Oh, great construction. Anyway, let me know in the comment section below which was your favourite base, rover or creation. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.